classified as, teaching the procedural knowledge, whereas skill is the ability to carry out a task with predetermined results, often within a given time, energy, and everything defined as per the abilities one possesses. We all heard about the 36 billion education sector. I think the vocation sector is also 10 billion plus to start with, and it will grow more and more as more and more people understand the value of it, and there is more and more private participation into the sector. We have sitting here few people who have already taken lead and participated into the skills space. 130 million plus people, kids enroll in the pre-primary and the primary, and only 10% of them pass out at the graduate level. What happens to the remaining in the process? Where do they go? We talked about education. There is no education. People drop out in the process. We are one of the youngest nation in the world. What happens if we don't get these people to work? There will be a chaos, there will be anarchy. The country will, I don't know where will it lead to. So, demographic dividend or demographic disaster. We have to find out a way. We have to see where we want our future to be. The country has taken, government has taken a lot of efforts into this. Your planning commission has planned something. The MHRD in Feb this year, they have come up with the NVEQF. In December, it was another national skill qualification framework which has been passed by the cabinet committee, which again wants to have an overarching body, overarching framework which will ensure how education and skills are are complementing each other. There is a fungibility from education to skill and skill to education. I will ask you a question. How many of you would be proud here to say that your relative is a driver, your relative is a plumber, your relative is an electrician? None of you, I believe. That's the way how we have, our culture has been groomed. So, there is a need to respect in the society the skills. People who get skilled, people who acquire vocational education, they need to be respected, they need to be treated at par with any education, any individual who have been educated into the system. Only 54% of the youth believe post-secondary studies really help them for employment. On contrary, 83% of the educationalists believe that new graduates are ready to work in industry. However, if you go by, we have got PhD chamber or NASCOM, they all talk about only 25% of the graduates are good enough to start work on day one. So there is a huge gap. 53% of employers say skill shortage is a leading reason for at the entry level. So we see the scale of the problem. How do we address it? I think today we are here, and our speakers will talk on how to make the vocation, the skilling scalable, how to make it sustainable, how to bring in IT, ICT into it so that, we, as I said, we are the youngest nation. If we take another 5 years, 4 years, 10 years to develop infrastructure for skilling, all the people who are today at 20 will become 30, the people who are at 30 will go to 35 and 40. So we have to rip this age group, and that's why we want a fast track mechanism by which we can provide skilling to each and every youth in our country. With this thought, I would leave this to our panelists to give us information, knowledge with the experience that how do they sense they will contribute towards the standardization of a skilling system, towards assessment, certification, how to bring in the ICT, how to scale it up, and how to make it sustainable.